All right, bang. All right, here we go. Here comes the link. Now, join me up, everybody. Let's go get some of you guys in here. Emre says truth. Yeah, no doubt. Mad Bird, both are amazing. I would agree. I love them both. He's elite like Jalen. Yes, Cilio is elite, 100%. Jacob has a great thing going. Brian says, Brian, thank you, man. I take a lot of pride in what we're doing, and I don't just mean that. I think everybody here has done a tremendous job at helping us grow and has provided more than you know. And I know it, you spend a minute here, it means a lot to me because you don't have to be. You can be anywhere else. Let's get to a couple people in the chat. Already everybody joining me. Got Joe Whip in there. I see Anton, the legendary Bob Brown. I see Abe. Abe's got the Jacob lid on. I love that. Jarrell's in here. Let me go to my man, Joe Whip. Joe, you ready for me? I'm coming to you, brother.
I'm ready.
What's going on, Joe? What do you think, man? What do you think of today's game? What do you think of Nick Sirianni? What's on your mind when you watch that unfold?
First thing, if the Eagles are watching, this should be the every game helmet.
Yes.
This is an Eagles helmet from the 80s that I got from the Eagles.
Yes.
Please, this should be. I'm sick of that midnight green.
Joe, that is something I think we can all get behind. I like that. Some unity.
Right, so the point I have with Sirianni is you're up 16-0. It's the end of the first half. Why the hell are you chasing 2 points? You missed the 2-pointer, then they chase it in the second half. They don't get it again. It just compounds. It's too early to be chasing 2 points. Yep. It makes no sense. I love John, and Cilio gets, Cilio. But it makes no sense to be chasing 2 points when you're going to be up 17-0, a 3 position. When I was watching it, I said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And it makes no sense to be chasing 2 points when you're up. It's 17-0, go into halftime. That's to me. And then, then he doesn't. It's like the Atlanta game all over again, where he brings Jake Elliott in cold for a long field goal, and he misses it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's where I think the situational part of it, Joe, is gone. Like, I understand what John's saying, right? You're successful. This is what they did to be successful in 22. Don't go away from it. But there's just no application of the situational. Like you said, it's simple. Go up 17 and give me a 3-possession game. It's simple math.
I know.
And that's where I think they're missing overall.
And I watched the O-line, even though they had all that rushing, the O-line didn't have one of their better games. Fred Johnson was being pushed around.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't think Becton played well at all.
I'm actually starting to wonder if Steen's a better fit in there.
I would have pulled him and put Steen in.
Yeah.
Steen moves. Steen's a better run blocker.
I know, and Steen just fits, I think, a little bit better. I know people don't try not to make too much of how tall Becton is, but Jalen's not the tallest quarterback in the world. He's 6'1". I mean, I met Jalen. I was almost eye to eye with him, and I'm like, I wouldn't be able to throw over Lane Johnson and Mekhi Becton. So I don't know. I wonder if that plays into it at all.
No, I don't think Becton played well. He wasn't getting any push. I would have had Steen in there in the second half, but what do I know? I'm just a dumbass watching the game on TV.
You're no dumbass, Joe. I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much for doing it. I look forward to talking to you again soon. All right, Joe?
Anytime.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Great stuff from the legendary Joe Whip in the chat. Been a supporter of ours for a while. Big thanks to Joe. Coming to my man, Bob Brown. Coming up next. Bob, good to see you, my man.
Zander, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Bob. How are you doing after that 28-23 win? Hey, listen, Bob, I'll give you the positive. We're 6-2. All right. But what did you see out there today?
Well, we'll address the Sirianni thing first. There's been an expression going on, the enemy within. It's all over the news, right? Sirianni is the enemy within. Now, before my beautiful bride agreed to marry me, I used to spend a lot of time driving down to Atlantic City, sit at the blackjack table. The smartest guy at the blackjack table has to be in the last seat because he knows you're not looking for 21. You're just looking to make the deal or bust. Sirianni coaches like he's got to get 21 on every play. He doesn't have it in him to read the table and say, I know I can take the hit, but let me just take this point and let the dealer bust. He's always looking to prove he's the guy instead of just taking what's right in front of him. Because like you said, you got a 3-score game at the half. Joe Whipp hit it perfectly. You missed it. So now you're saying, I'm chasing the money. I'm chasing the cards. And he's no good at it because he can't read the table. It's that simple. He's trying to chase something, and he digs a hole for himself. And again, who is it? Stratus in the chat, Bleed Green in the chat. We're mentioning Saquon's fumble. Well, if we had the right guy at the last seat at the table, you can handle a fumble because you know the guy at the last seat at the table, he's going to make sure the table wins. Nick doesn't have that gene. He just doesn't have it. You're running this season, everybody's running tape. Nick's looking at tape saying, I made 4 or 5 bonehead calls, but we won. So he starts to get confidence in himself, and he shouldn't. But there's coaches out there running tape, and they're going to tell their team, just stick around with the Eagles. Don't give up, because Nick Sirianni is going to show up. And when he shows up, he's going to bust. And that's where we double down, and we can get him. I'm watching it. My mom came to the house tonight, 80 years old. She went to Franklin Field with my dad and watched it. She's sitting next to me going, why the shit am I watching this team? They've been pissing me off for years. This guy's, in her words, this guy's no better than Kotite.
Oh God.
Now-
Now you just brought up Mrs. Bob, your mother.
Yeah.
Now that must be a smart lady. She must be a smart lady, Bob, because you're a smart guy.
Listen,
And you're talking
she's
about someone
watched a
who's seen
lot
it
of
even
football.
longer than you.
She's watched a lot of football, and she's watched a lot of bad Eagles football. And I love these guys in the chat. Even Zander, like you're McNabb forward. I mean, I watched Jaworski. I was there in '80 when the championship game. I watched Pisarcik. I watched him march Jim McMahon out there. I mean, the team was just scrambling. I watched a lot of bad football. And the thing tonight, which we got away from, we were about to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory because the enemy from within was deciding that he knew what's best. Jody, the debate was great, but Johnny McMullen said it. We're up 22-0. That's garbage time. I agree. If it's garbage time, why are you going for 2 again? If it's garbage time, you just want to get out of there with the win, keep everybody healthy. You don't try to push it. You didn't need to, but they did. And why? Because he's chasing cards at the table. And anybody in the chat that's played cards, if the cards aren't running and you figure you're going to push through it, that's where you lose your ass. And that's what almost happened tonight. And when we play a team like Baltimore, like I said it in the chat this week, Baltimore does a lot of what we do, and they do it better. I love Barkley, but their running back's a little bit better. I really like Hurts. Their quarterback's a little bit better. But what they don't have is the A.J. Smitty knockout punch at the end. Yep. That's what they're trying to find. That's why they're trading for trying to get receivers. They want to do what we do. They just haven't found that, and we have it. If we run the ball, we set up the pass. You don't have to. I mean, I know Cilio wants Hurts to be Vinny Testaverde and throw for 350.
Not happening, man.
Game. But if he throws for 225 a week, he runs for 65, he averages 290 yards all-purpose a game, he's going to have 4,900 yards at the end of the season. That's worth the money he's making.
I agree. And that's why I'm so optimistic right now, because they've started to do that with him, right? I mean, I'm not crazy. Last 4 weeks look great for Jalen.
Look, you're not crazy at all. The thing that they're doing differently is Cilio still acts like anytime Jalen runs the ball, he's the primary running back on the team. He's not. He's Robin to Barkley's Batman, the same way that Smitty is Robin to AJ's Batman. Now, Cilio's right. If you have to run Hurts, and he's got to run for 100, 120, he's got to run the ball. That's not a good setup. But Barkley banging away, you run Kenny in there every once in a while, hopefully not on the goal line because that's not his gig, but you mix that in. Hurts scoots out the back door, keep everybody on your toes. Bam, you hit them over the top. It's not a complicated setup. We just make it complicated because the guy in control of the team doesn't have a feel to read the game when it's going on. There was no reason to use any analytics against a 2-7 team that we clearly had outclassed from the minute they came on the field. We are our own worst enemy, and that's Nick Sirianni. And you can't fire him, but I'll tell you what, trading deadline's coming up. Somebody wants the most winningest coach in Philadelphia history, and I can package him in there and get back something. You're damn sure I'm shipping him out.
Shit, I love it. Trade Nick. Don't fire him. Bob, bring in the bar.
Why get something for him? It's not like it's, trade something.
Yeah, well,
I know it's not going to happen.
Right? They traded Sean
It does not.
Payton
It's happened, but it's happened in the offseason. It's not going to happen in season.
Yeah, it's not.
But Jacksonville, hey, they got two really good ends, and I like Lloyd as their linebacker. You know what? You want a better coach? You give me Nick. I'll take. You could take Sirianni. Give me one of those ends, and I'll throw in a third. Have a nice day.
Yeah. No doubt. Bob, thanks for joining, man. Great stuff today. I got to run. I got a lot of people to get to.
You got it. Great show, guy.
Great talking to you as always. See you,
you too, buddy.
Great stuff from Bob Brown. I freaking love Bob Brown. The guy's a legend. I mean, he's a JAKIB legend. He's a real JAKIB legend. He's been in our chats for a long time. You can see why. He's always got great takes in the chat. Let me keep rolling through. Abe, are you ready for me, Abe? I got Abe. Let's get Abe now. Abe, what's going on, my brother?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing? And let me start with the Nick Sirianni stuff. Who won the debate, Sills or McMullen?
You already know Sills won that.
Yeah. What do you think of Nick?
In the dirt. Nick. This is the second game he's done this. It was against the Falcons and now this. But yet we lost the Falcons game because Kirk was able to fucking get past our defense.
Yeah.
This time around, Dean made the interception that saved us the game. You got to understand, when you're losing points, 12 points off the board, you didn't have to do so much. Like, you literally put yourself in the predicament to either get people more injured or lose the game. We could have been 5-3.
You think it's going to be an issue moving forward?
If he keeps on calling the plays aggressively like that, yes.
Forget the calling the plays. What about the game time, the game decisions of going forward and not taking the points and all those things? I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are like, who were successful with it. We don't need to stop doing that. I think that's a fair line of thinking. It's not my line of thinking, but where are you on that?
I mean, look what Kirk did in 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Imagine if it was like that back-to-back plays that we try to take aggressive plays on. You think we're going to win that game?
No.
Our defense couldn't hold up.
Yo, hey, before I let you go, man, do me a favor. Tilt that head down a little bit. Tilt that head down. Let's check that out, everybody. Abe rocking some JAKIB merch. Let's go,
yes,
Abe.
Sir.
I appreciate it, man. I'll see you this week in the chat box. I'm sure, my man. I appreciate you being here. And I'll talk to you soon. All right, brother?
All righty. Appreciate it. Go
Thanks, man. Great stuff from Abe there on the JAKIB post-game show. Akbar, coming to you next. You ready, my man? Let me get Akbar up in here. Akbar, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Oh, man, you sound crisp, Akbar.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I love it, man. What'd you take away from the game today? 28-23 victory for the Birds. Moved to 6-2 in the year.
What I took from it, man, is that Philly a fucking problem. We a problem. Like, don't nobody want to see us for real, for real. We keep talking about what other things got and what they doing. Don't nobody really want to fuck with the Eagles right now. That's my take on it. Now, as far as you talking about with Nick Sirianni, I would have took the points. Like, this is my thing, right? This is how this is a little bit different from what everybody else is saying. Everybody's pretty much regurgitating the same shit. In my opinion, Nick Sirianni was being super duper disrespectful to Doug Peterson. He basically was saying, fuck you, no matter what you do, we're not going to win this game. I mean, you're not going to win this game. He like, usually when you see people go for 2 points, you see them do it for, like, to try to even up if they missed a field goal, or they trying to make a 3-point game opposed to a 1-point game, but he was just doing it and doing it and doing it no matter what. So the way I looked at it is, and plus they looked like they was playing a JV squad out there. Like you got fucking Saquon Barkley doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shit out there. Like that shit was fucking crazy. Like you know,
Dude, that
like I
was
jumped out my
nuts,
seat.
man. That
I
Barkley
couldn't
hop,
fucking
I've
believe
never
it.
seen anything like that.
AZ, check this out, man. We had like 10 fucking highlights of the week in that one game. Now it would have been disappointed if they lost. It did get close in the end, but I never seen any worry in Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was smiling the whole time, even after the fumble, even after 2 minutes in the game. Jalen Hurts did not look worried. And to be honest with you, I wasn't worried either. I wasn't worried. I didn't think that
I
we were
never
going to
felt
lose.
like we were going to lose the game.
I
Yeah.
never thought we was going to lose that. Was it more
Yeah.
competitive than it needed to be? Yeah, but on some real shit, it wasn't even close. It wasn't close, man. Like, what they scored 28 points. I mean, they could have scored
23. We had 28. They had 23. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and one of my takes was as far as we had a lot of penalties. A lot of
Yeah,
penalties
sure.
helped them with good field position and helped them get back into the game, and then you had the ghost fumble, I kind of understand why they didn't give him that, because what he do? Touch him with a finger? That's going to knock down Saquon Barkley. Like
I know. I kind of wasn't. That was a spotty call, Akbar. I will say that.
It was, but he barely touched him. Like, I mean,
I know.
he
The
got
thing I think that got Saquon is he took another 2 steps after they touched him, and he also tripped over Dickerson's foot. And you could see that. So I think the refs were like, I don't think, like you said, that's not knocking down Saquon. Dickerson knocked down Saquon. He wasn't down by contact. Now, I don't know. I thought overall it was a spotty call, but last question, man. You think Nick's going to be an issue late in the year, or are you good with where he's at? Because I will agree with your initial sentiment. The way the Eagles are playing right now, that's not a team that many teams want to see. That's a team that's bullying you and running the ball right down your throat. That's a good formula. You think Nick could be a problem, though, late in the year?
Well, Abe made a great point. Shout out to Abe. That's my dog. Shout out to the chat, flexing, all those guys. But he did this 2 times, right? He did this overly aggressive gameplay. This is the second time doing it. So in my opinion, I mean, I don't really want to knock Nick for being aggressive, because I like the aggressive play. It shows that he has a lot of faith in his offense and his players, and that they can pull shit off. As Johnny Mac said, I agree with him. You have to produce the play. Like, you have to make the play. Like, you can't fumble. You can't be fucking up. You can't be going off sides.
I get that. But where John goes too far is, you're a coach. You got to put players in good positions. If you put them in a shitty position and then they don't succeed, how easy is it to say, oh, the player should have executed? Yeah, well, you fucking could have put me in a better position, dude. That's your damn job. You know what I'm saying, though? And that's where I get pissed, because like the 4th down conversion where they didn't use the tush push. That was a bad job. That was a bad play call. Now, you're right. We're judging the result. But that was putting your player in a bad position to succeed.
It should have
and
took
that's
the
where
points.
I think,
You should have took the points. I mean, you play aggressive when that's why I say he disrespected him so bad. He did not believe that at any point they were going to lose that game. He just kept fuck the field goal. No, fuck the field goal. We're going for 2. We're going for 2. We're going for 2. 4th and 1. Like, he was really, you know what he remind me of? He remind me of, you ever watch Dave Chappelle when he played Rick James? And he over at Eddie Murphy house, and he put fuck your couch, fuck your. You ever seen that shit when he put in his feet? That's what he did.
I've seen some Dave Chappelle. He's a funny dude. That's
what he did. That's what he did. He put his dirty ass shoes all in Doug Peterson couch today, like real bad. Like he.
I thought that was that's a good take by you. I might use that this week. I'll credit you. That's a good take. And I said the thing I said on the show was, do you think Nick had anything where it's like your ego flares? Because The guy that won the Super Bowl is here. The guy that has a statue out front here. You know, you want to flex your muscles versus that guy a little bit.
Exactly.
It's
And
kind
Nick
of a
is that
similar
kind of
point to
guy.
what you're saying. Yeah, I think you articulated it better though.
Nick is a overly passionate, like emotional dude. Like I really feel like he felt that way. Like seeing everything that transpired with Nick through these last 2 seasons and seeing how he's like, you know, overly like, you know, in the crowd's face and all that type shit. Like he I don't think he liked Doug. He played Doug Peterson with zero respect today. Zero. Outside of that, I mean, we had like 10 fucking highlights.
Dude,
that
we had a great
interception.
game.
Huh?
We had a great game.
I felt
We
as though
did.
it was a great fucking game. I mean, they scored
I mean,
23 points.
Jalen was no
but-
bum juice this week, dude. He looked good.
No, he wasn't. But your boy, did you see your boy get ran over today?
Who?
He
Who's
got-
my boy?
Foden Smith. He got
I
folded
don't have
out
a
the lawn
boy,
chair.
Akbar. Let me tell you something. I don't got a boy, bro.
Oh, you was campaigning for him all goddamn week. How about
No,
that?
you called him a bum juice last week. He wasn't bum juice
Well,
last week.
did you
He's a
see him this
developing
week? How's
player.
Okay, I got a question for you. When his contract come up, are you paying him?
As of right now, no.
I
I guess you're right.
Right
That does
on.
answer your question.
Right on.
Does
Like,
answer your
boy,
question.
he got folded though. You should see. It was on a special teams play. Somebody just trucked the shit out of him, ran him right over like he was like a deer on a road. Like
Well, he's a little undersized, but he's coming along as an edge, Akbar. He's getting
he
around.
doesn't have any. He doesn't have
Good.
any power. He doesn't have any power. No, he has
He doesn't
no
have
power.
any power against tackles. I mean, you're
the-
not going to outpower a tackle when you're 250 pounds.
And-
You're just not.
And he's just not strong enough. Like I think he's taller than Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham got way more power. He's a defensive line guy.
Brandon Graham's a stocky dude, man. You ever met Brandon
Nolan
Graham?
Smith.
I met Brandon before. He's a stocky dude. But Akbar, great stuff, man. Thanks for joining in today. Mike sounded great. You look good. You got the glasses on. You're looking fresh, my guy. Appreciate you being here. And we'll talk to you next week. Right?
Thanks for having me. And tell Bob Brown to stop stealing my goddamn takes. He getting on my nerves with that shit.
Akbar, let me teach you something about content. There's no stealing takes in content. You know what it is, Akbar? The person who says it the loudest and gets it out the furthest, that's whose take it is.
Man,
Everybody's got the same takes. Huh?
I'm recording. I recorded with you when I was talking that boxing and shit. You remember that shit?
No, I remember it. I think you put it in my email on Friday. I did click the link.
I did because Bob Brown is going ham with it. Like he's remixing my rhymes. Like
you can't be blaming Bob Brown. Bob Brown is an OG, man. I love Bob, but no, I appreciate you, man.
Bob seemed like a really nice guy, but he just keeps stealing my take. Is annoying.
All right, well, you're gonna have to cry about it, Akbar. I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't. All right, bro. I'll talk to you next week. All right, man.
All right, it's good seeing you, homie. Take care.
Great seeing you, man. Thanks, man. Great stuff from Akbar. I love the people joining every week. Got a couple more to get to here. Jarrell, coming to you, my man. Jarrell Ray in the building.
Hey, look.
What's going on, Jarrell?
Zander, don't say a fucking word. I just want you to listen. No, I'm not on the treadmill. I did that 7 hours ago. Check this out. I got notes. Notes, bro. I'm going to just go through all this shit. Bro. I'm going to just go through this shit, okay? Check this out. The debate with Cilio and J-Mac was very interesting. I can see it from both perspectives, right? I can understand. I can see it. It makes sense. But what pisses me off is when I'm on X and I see Seth Joyner, Acho, all these other old fucks like, oh, you should have did it, blah, 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 blah. Shut your fucking ass up, man. You had your time. Shut up. We here, right? Now, check this out. Cilio was talking about during the game, because look, if you get on X, I was at Cilio's neck the whole game. The whole game. So he's like, Philadelphia hasn't played a good team yet. And I'm like, okay, well, who's a good team, Dan Cilio? I don't get a response. I'm pretty sure he's going to be like, oh, Washington. Oh, Baltimore. Oh, Detroit. I don't want to hear that shit. Shut that shit up. I don't give a fuck about no Detroit, no Baltimore. Now, damn sure
Yeah,
don't give
but
a fuck about
you have to
Washington.
understand, Jarrell. You're looking at it through there's nothing. Does Nick Sirianni give you any concern?
If I was concerned with Nick Sirianni, I wouldn't have been supporting Nick Sirianni since that goddamn game when everybody wanted Nick Sirianni fired. I
I don't want
understand.
him
And you
fired,
know
but
what?
I
I'm
totally
glad
understand
you
you.
asked me that. I'm glad you asked me that because this is my rebuttal. In 2022, did anybody have a problem with Nick Sirianni being extra aggressive?
Oh, now you sound. Well, I already got one, John McMullen, Jarrell. I don't need two.
This is my thing. This is what Coach Sirianni is. He's
You gotta have
aggressive.
situational awareness, Jarrell. You got to.
It's
You have to have
it's
situational
what
awareness.
what week is this?
9. Week 9. We're
Week
early yet.
week 9? So it's not January?
Yeah, but isn't it somewhat naive, Jarrell? Just to play devil's advocate for you. If there's problems in week 9 that aren't being acknowledged as problems, couldn't they come back later to bite you when it means more, when the stakes are higher?
Yes, only if he's not acknowledging those problems. And everybody's
I
like,
don't know if
"Oh,
he
we're
is.
not doing it. He's done it a couple games, blah blah blah." But I say again, what week is this? We can't really run with that until it comes January when the NFC's coming through Philadelphia and then he does something stupid like that to lose us a game. Until that happens, I don't give a fuck what nobody's saying. I don't want to hear that shit. It's week 9. It's week 9. The Washington Commanders had to beat the Bears with a lucky ass Hail Mary last week. And then today,
Hey,
Danny
that I'll agree
Dimes
with you
almost
on. They
beats
don't
them in
scare
the
me
fourth
yet.
quarter. Danny Dimes almost beats them in the fourth quarter. And we're talking about we're worried about Washington Commanders? Fuck them, y'all. What are we
Yeah,
talking about?
Jarrell, on the same note, because I'm with you on Washington, but people can look at us and say, you barely squeaked by the Jags. You barely squeaked by the Browns. You beat all you know what I mean? I'm just saying that can be
What's
perceived about the Eagles too. Any given
what did
Sunday
hey,
in this league. That's the
hey, what did
reality.
you say a little while ago to Cilio? You was like, we're just playing the teams that's on our schedule, right?
Oh yeah, that's all we can do.
That's all we can do, right?
Yeah.
The last time I checked, we're 6-2 right now, right? We got to play Cooper Rush next week.
Oh God.
Is that our fault? Whose
We're
fault
gonna
is
beat
that?
them by
Is that
40
our
if we
fault?
got Cooper Rush.
You know what else is crazy? Cilio was like, "Oh, when you play a good quarterback, they're gonna destroy you." Okay, we lost to Kirk Cousins in Atlanta because our defense wasn't where they need to be at. Saquon drops a pass. Okay, we got to play Matthew Stafford again this year. If I can recall, we went to Los Angeles last year and gave them the business. Am I right?
I think you are right about
The
that.
only thing that's different from last year and this year is that Aaron Donald's watching them on TV now.
That's true.
That's crazy. The rest of our
All right,
schedule.
so if I'm reading this right, Jarrell's got no concerns about Nick Sirianni. He's got no
Listen,
concerns about any other team in the league. Jarrell has the Philadelphia Eagles are your 2024 Super Bowl champions.
you already know we're gonna be in the NO come February. The only game that's
Jarrell,
circled
when
on the
they win
calendar is
when they win
Baltimore.
the Super Bowl, you're the first person I'm bringing on the show. All right.
Listen,
When they win the Super Bowl, you're the first person I'm bringing on.
the NFC will go through Philadelphia. If it doesn't, I pray for the rest of the NFC. Last thing I'm gonna say before you let me go. If the fucking New Orleans Saints trade Marshawn Lattimore to the Kansas City Chiefs, I swear to God. I
Why are they
swear to
shopping him?
God.
They might because they're in sell mode, aren't
I
they?
seen it this morning. They was in heavy talks about letting Marshawn Lattimore go to the Chiefs. And I'm like, why the fuck would you be trying to trade with the Chiefs? What are we doing?
Well, they would because they're in the NFC and they don't give a shit.
They're fucking retards.
Yeah,
They're
I saw that. I
retards.
see this. I see what you're looking at, working on a blockbuster for him. That would be incredible. We'll see what happens. Jarrell, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. Hopefully I'll talk to you again
Hey,
soon. Thanks for all your support.
you'll see me next week after we beat Cooper Rush.
Yeah, Cooper Rush's ass. Great stuff, Jarrell. Thank you, man. Great stuff there from the legendary Jarrell Ray. I love Jarrell, man. He's got a lot of passion, and he's a great supporter of ours, so we appreciate him. Let's go to the man. Hot Sport coming up next. The Aussie Eagle fan. What's up, my man? How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm good. I'm a bit annoyed that Jarrell came on before me because I want to do the whole notes thing. I also came a bit prepared. First of all, I want to shout out my boss. He allowed me to use his office for this because I'm at work. So,
what time is it over there? I can't get you guys free. It's 10 p.m. at night on a Sunday.
2 p.m. 2:09.
On a Monday,
PM
right?
On
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Already into the week.
All right. So I've been listening to you guys the whole day, so I'm just kind of taking notes on what you guys have been saying. First off, Dan asked the question, and it's a really good question. Why did the Jaguars, why was they the team that had the chance to win the game on the final possession? That's the big question, I think, for me. And then I'm going to get into the whole Nick Sirianni thing. So I'm going to read you kind of the stuff I wrote down, and feel free to chime in whenever you want. Okay,
rattle through it.
So the first thing is, my question is do you think that Nick Sirianni disrespected the Jaguars today in any way?
I think there's a fair point. I thought Akbar brought that up in a good way. I don't know if it's disrespect. I think maybe it's more so he has an unwavering belief in his team, which at some point, I mean, for anybody in their own life, sometimes you can almost be too confident, right? That it comes to your own detriment. I think maybe there was some of that today, but I wouldn't say disrespect. No.
Yeah. So, what I would say is, because you kept saying, "Oh, do you think this is going to cost us down the road?" And I just think that every single game is a bit different. Like, you watch everybody else's games.
Point. Yeah, I think you're right about that, by the way.
You watch everyone else's games on TV, and they all have this dramatic stuff that goes on. And it's because it's not our team, we don't see it as much of a problem as it is when it happens to us. So I just think if you have, let's say you have the 49ers, you have the Lions or something in a game like that, the Ravens, I think that Sirianni is going to take that a bit more seriously and be a lot less caution to the wind and realize that we have a chance to get points here. You don't waste it. You know what I mean? I think it's a different, the stage gets bigger. And I think today he disrespected the Jaguars, and therefore that's why I think he did a lot of things. Now, I'd say, I've been definitely positive. I'd say that I disagreed with half the stuff that Nick did today. And I made a list of those things. The first things I disagreed with going forward on 4th down in the first half, 4th and 3. Definitely should have taken the field goal. There's no reason to go for it there at all. The other one was, when we went up 17-0, but then they got the penalty and he went for 2. Just keep it at 17-0 because, again, you make it a 3-score game, right? And the last one I didn't agree with was going forward on 4th down in the second half when, as Dan mentioned many, many times, he actually went away from the push, and the play call on that was terrifying, honestly. But I got when he went for 2 the second time because he needed to make up for missing it the first time to make it a 14-point game. And I also got it the second time we went for 2 after the Devontae TD because, again, it would put us up 14. So the maths made sense for me on that. But I think it's somewhere between what McMullen and what Big Sills was saying. I just think you don't have to get too overblown or too overreactionary about this. But I'd say that Nick does need to be spoken to by the hierarchy, by Jeff Lurie, by Howie, and saying, look, moving forward, we can't be doing stuff like this. It makes us, as the owner, as the GM, look silly.
Yeah. I think you're right. And I think you're right. Where I think you're really right is I think you're really right about the gray area. Where if you like what I'll say is if you expect Nick to every chance he has to take points, if you expect him to take points, that's a dumb expectation because he's already proven he's not going to do that, right? But I also think to go for it every single time is dumb too. And that's where I think you're right, where there's a gray area, right? You got to, John's right. They're going to be aggressive because it's worked and it's given them a competitive advantage. But you also have to read the room a little bit. And that's where I think he's lacking right now.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And look, what I'd say is the good news is that here on the Nick thing, and I'll move on a little bit to the performance because I feel it's been overshadowed, the actual performance of the game.
Yeah, and it's going to be all week. Welcome to the media, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to get better at this every week, this media stuff, yeah?
Yeah,
look,
I think you're doing a good job, man. I appreciate you doing it, man. I appreciate you taking the time to write it out and be thorough.
Look, I would much rather this happen now so they can have a discussion about it and so that moving forward we can learn from it. And as I think Jarrell just said, like, then you can start to point the blame at Sirianni if this becomes an issue moving forward. If it does eventually, as you guys have asked the question, hurt us in the long run, then it definitely needs to be highlighted. And look, to be honest though, the other besides all that stuff, and I think the answer Dan's question was a combination of Nick Sirianni, and I also questioned the referee's decision on the Saquon fumble, because obviously that makes a huge difference in the game. So you got the 9 points basically that Nick gave up because of his decision making, plus the 7 that the 8 actually.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, here's the thing though, because you can play that two ways, right?
17 points.
In the first half, though, Anton, we had 16 points, I think it was, at halftime.
It should have been way more.
No, but 13 of them came from Jaguars' mistakes. Remember, they muffed the punt. We had a terrible first drive, and then they muffed the punt, and it was almost like we got a 65-yard completion. We got the ball at the 20-yard line. Now, we capitalized, but I'm saying you can say, like, okay, well, maybe. So there's always going to be that give and take, but I understand your point.
And I think one of the reasons why we actually won the ball game at the end is the fact that we won the turnover battle so massively. Like, I think if you win the turnover battle as much as we did, and then
you're going to
look at it at the end of the game, and you're like, how did you lose that? But I'd say, first of all, overall, and I'll make it quick because I'll leave you to it because I know you got a lot to do.
Yeah, I got a couple more people I got to get to here.
I think the defense needs to be praised today. I know you guys were a little bit critical of them, but
I thought they were great. Yeah.
Turnovers.
Second half, they got beat up a little bit, but I thought they were put in bad positions. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, for I think Nakobe, all the criticism he's had, for him to come up with that big moment, I'm so happy for him. To have everybody in the crowd around him, that was his signature moment so far.
That was the signature moment of his career, my man.
Yeah, yep. And Bond was incredible. Sweaty was incredible. Ringo with the recovery on the muff punt.
On the muff punt, yep.
Amazing. But yeah, look, I have no criticism of performance. I actually thought outside of the Sirianni stuff and the refereeing thing, I thought we were dominant. But my main concern again would be that AJ Brown. I don't want to know what's going on with him because I've mentioned on your show every week how important and how critical he is.
Number one takeaway,
to our success.
Man. Yep.
Number one
My number one takeaway is AJ. I mean, look, that's the thing that's overshadowed because we're not going to know more for a couple of days. So you can't react to it now. But if we lose him, I mean, shit.
What's concerning about it is that it wasn't like it happened. We didn't even have the ball yet in the second half. And
I know,
you see him walk into the tunnel. You're like, generally when it's non-contact, that's when you start like, what's going on here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, and one final thing, I just got to call out Elliott Shore-Parks. I was looking at his game grades. How does Nick Sirianni get an A-? The offense get a C-, and Jalen Hurts get a B. That just sounds a bit upside down to me. If anything, Sirianni gets the C-. Jalen gets. I think Jalen still gets a B.
I give Sirianni an F today.
Right, exactly. But I'm
not giving you a C. The C is a passing grade. Nearly choked the game away.
And I just want you to say this because I know you're Dan Silio's boss a little bit. He should definitely take a crack at Pauly Shore-Parks tomorrow, because that guy, I don't know what he's.
I don't ever tell Cilio what to talk about because Cilio.
I know, and that's the beauty of Dan.
Yeah, Cilio. I'll never tell him, but he probably will. Cilio likes to take. All right, man. Thank you so much for joining, man. Great stuff. I'll talk to you again soon. All right.
All right, dude. Yeah. See ya.
Thank you, man. Great stuff again, man. Appreciate everybody coming in today. Clary Voy, I'm coming to you, my man. I got O-line Guru still, and I got D.O. coming up next. Clary Voy, here I come, bro.
Hey, what's up, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
What'd you take away from the game today, man? 28-23. Birds moved to 6-2, but boy, a lot to talk about after a win.
It was
like
actually pretty reminiscent in 22. Do you remember when we'd be up a lot by halftime, then our defense would go and prevent, and then next thing you know, they come back in. We're like, what the hell's going on? And we always blamed, if you remember, we always used to blame our D coordinator. Now it's like, nah, this is Nick. So I'm just
you're
saying,
right about
man,
that.
You know,
what do you think of Nick, man? What do you think of Nick in like the debate with Big Sills and John? Like, where do you fall on that?
Well, so usually I love Wednesdays. All right, I get to see Philly 500. You know what I mean? And the Cowboys, and they talk and they go at it. This was better. I'm not gonna lie. This was better. You know, because you got the insight.
Clary, boy, I was on the edge of my seat, man. I'm like, whoa, these dudes are fucking going at it.
Yeah, you're listening to it and you're reading the chat. You're like,
I was laughing, man. Yeah.
You know, it was entertaining to say the least. I will say that it was awesome, but man, it looked like Nick was trying to show to everyone that he's better than Peterson, but Peterson's won us a Super Bowl, and it was our first one ever. It just seemed like it was like, yo, try to embarrass him because he was lining up for stuff, and he knew he wasn't going to get it, or not get it, but he knew he wasn't going to try to fake it or anything. He was going for it, and it was to
Right.
prove a point. It is what it is. I still think our team won today in spite of Nick, but that's like the third game that I can think of. Like New Orleans, we won in spite of Nick. In Atlanta, we lost because of Nick, and then today we won. This is now becoming, as you all talk about, like 3 or 4 times, a trend. This is a trend. We're trending that the team is just saving Nick. Nick has always been trying to prove a point. Remember last year, he's like, oh, this is my offense, everything. Well, guess what? It's his offense, but he couldn't take the L. And look at how our offense looked last year. Yeah, it was a top 10 offense, but it looked like it looked like garbage, And then this year, he said it's his offense. Our offense didn't look right. Notice the last couple of weeks, he hasn't been saying this is his offense. Now you hear about the team going to him saying like, yo, we got to run the ball. Why is he not having that narrative now? Because it ain't his offense. Let's be honest. You got to read in between the lines. So it is what it is. Like he's here for hopefully next year they do really well. I'm telling you right now, I think actually the playoffs are going to come through Philly. Look at I said it earlier this week. Look at their schedule. And then because I know you all read my comment and it was like, hey, it's always going to be, well, they haven't played no one. Because all they're going to be playing right now, they have 4 teams left on the schedule with winning records. Now 5 because they play the Redskins twice, they play the Ravens, and now did LA win today?
I think LA won. They were winning.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me to follow the league on game days. I got to be honest. Yeah, they
So
won. They beat Seattle in overtime, 26-20.
So LA won, and I think there's one other team that I'm forgetting. But anyways, those are the teams that have 500 records or better than 500 records for the rest of the season.
Right.
So you're going to hear if they were to win out, it's like, oh, look at their competition. That's what you're going to hear. And remind you of 22? Does it remind you of 17? Because it does to me. So right. They're going to be coming through Philly.
Are you telling me right now, Clary boy, that you're getting the sense that this is a Super Bowl squad? Is that where you're at right now? You're bringing up 17 and 22 a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Even today, it looked like 22 to me. I'm going to be honest with you. It looked like 20. Jalen looked good.
Jalen looks lights out right now. There's nothing I have bad to say about Jalen Hurts right now.
Nah, Barkley's a monster, dude. If you were to tell me today, hey, you're going to miss all these 4th downs and the 2-point conversions, and Nakobe Dean's going to get the game-sealing interception, I would say you're drunk, you're high. But guess what? That shit happened. You know what? So it is what it is. Maybe I'm in a different universe, So when it comes to it all, my bad. My kid's right here. Ugh.
You're good, man.
Yeah. So
kids first. What's up, little buddy? I don't know if you can hear
say hi. Say hi. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, my man. You can't hear me, right?
He can't hear me. Next thing you know, he'll be telling me to put the headphones on. Yeah. But yeah, man. So I don't know. We'll see. When it comes to everything going on with the Eagles, I think it's going to go through Philly, but it's only going to go as far as Nick learns to just kind of balance himself and just go with the mojo of the game.
Yeah, but I think it's almost like a common sense approach, right? Like be a little bit more or less like on edge.
Yeah, I understand being aggressive because the times that people need to be aggressive, they're like, nah, I'm not being aggressive. With him, he's like, you know what? I'll be right once in a while. Yeah. I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm right now. I can look at it in hindsight, and just be like, I'd much rather him be aggressive than not aggressive when he needs to be.
No, you're right about that. Great stuff, man. Thank you for joining. By the way, man, I like your pad. Is that like a log cabin you got going on?
Yeah, dude. I live in a log cabin. Here, let me so you can kind of see. I'm trying.
Damn, bro, you got a pad.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Wow, so that's really dope, man. If you don't mind me asking, where you don't have to tell me like specifically, but where are you at?
Man, I live in Mississippi. I'm from the Philadelphia area. I grew up. I joined the Navy, and then when I was in the Navy, I'm like Jarrell. I'm in the Navy. I was in the Navy, and then I got out. I work for the Navy now. I'm in Mississippi.
Awesome, man! Thank you so much for the service, bro. That's a dope story. That's cool.
Yeah, dude. We all got a story, man.
Thank you for joining, man. A nice pad. I love the little kid running around. You got it going on. Great insight today, man. I'll talk to you again soon. All right, bro.
Later,
man. Great stuff from Clary Void, man. Everybody's been killing it on the show today. Let's go to the legend, Caleb Brannon. What's up, my brother? Good to see you, my man.
What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. I'm doing great. Great to talk to you again. It's been a couple weeks in a row now, and you've been on the money, my man. This team is looking better than ever with a
Sir.
run-first approach. What'd you take away from today's win?
I think it was a good win because a win is a win.
Yep.
I will say this. I think that the Nick criticism, if it's at a 10, should be about at a 6. I think that he was. I think that we do got to give him credit because he's still doing better. So I'm gonna heed to that. I'm gonna give him a pass because a couple of them was a tush push.
I don't want to give him a pass.
From 2
Here's why
yards.
Dude, I
The
can't
tush
give
push-
him a pass.
Hold on. The tush push from 2 yards away was crazy to me. 2 yards is too much. Give me a
Agreed.
yard and a half.
Again, I agree with that.
And the inches one, you got to tush push it.
You got to tush push. Right.
You got to tush push it.
Yeah, I agree with
You
that.
got to tush push it.
But here's why I don't want to give him a credit, dude, or off the hook. This team is too good for us to waste this. Right? Like, I'm a younger fan, admittedly, right? I was born in 98. I haven't seen, but when I think about the Eagles, I have the Eagles encyclopedia. I read all about the Eagles history. This seems like one of the greatest rosters we've ever had. We can't waste this with a fucking coach who does, dumb things. And that's where I get mad scared about Nick Sirianni blowing something at the wrong
I
moment.
agree. And that's why when sometimes John is very critical of fans being very critical of Nick, I'm like, bro, we got a window, though. We have a window.
Right.
We got about 3 years. So I understand he's the highest win percentage, but that's not the goal. The goal is the Super Bowl. So I understand that. I think Jalen Hurts is balling right now, but like I said, in rhythm, he's amazing. Now, I understand everybody was critical of him. You remember a couple weeks ago, it was one morning show and John was like, well, some of the audibles been on him and, sometimes and I understand that. And I was like, bro, we got to put it on the coaches, though, because it's their job to put him in position. Keep him in rhythm, he's fine. You can throw the ball 25, 27 times with Hurts.
Right.
In rhythm. That's the key.
No, you're right, man.
In
look
rhythm,
how good Jalen looks right now.
In rhythm.
He looks so good.
Because he's in rhythm. I believe we're fine right there. Shout out to Fangio. I was critical of him in the beginning, but he has really showed he's the master of that system. He's done elaborated on it even more than Gannon. I know Gannon balling over there in Arizona, but I think from a defensive scheme point of view, the last 3 games has been some of the best defense we've seen, even during the 22 season.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I know the sacks was up there in numbers, but I'm talking about just from throwing out different looks and everything.
Granted, you did play some shoddy offenses. I mean, not the Bengals aren't.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But we're warm. We gonna see.
You're not wrong. You're seeing flashes of greatness on this defense.
I can see it.
They got to put it together versus a great team. But you're right for sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to the Baltimore game, so we're gonna see. I'm right on.
Oh, are you? Oh, we got
on
another viewer that's going. Who else is
going? Jarrell. Hey, Jarrell, because I was listening.
Is that Jarrell who's going? I knew somebody else said it. I'm like, shit, we got a bunch of dudes going to Baltimore.
And you remember, I ain't gonna say because he said, but I was also one of the first ones. All I needed to see was a half from Cleveland. And I said, if they got any common sense, they're going to lean onto this. If they got anything up there, anything, bro, they're going to lean into this. I'm worried about Tampa. Hopefully we're not fools. Every time we go to Tampa, somehow we forget how to play football and we throw the ball on first down every time. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully, but besides them, Detroit going to be nice. If they come through Philly, like I said, after Cleveland, I know it seemed early then, but I seen it already. I'm not worried about nobody in NFC. I'm not worried about nobody, Zander. I'm not worried.
Winning. They beat the Packers. That was a good win for them. Great stuff, man. Appreciate you joining.
Also, just to let you know, man, a lot of my insight, I did play college ball. I played against a lot of the greats. So I'm just not talking just from how you credit it, but
I could tell you knew football the minute I talked to you.
Yeah, I just want to preface it because sometimes I know I don't ever just throw it out there because I don't want to seem like I know more or something. I'm not trying to say it.
I hear you.
I get it, man. Preface it like I'm not just rambling when I say we need to run the ball early because it changes our whole football team.
Here's the reality of getting on air and making an opinion, brother. Everybody's going to have an opinion about your opinion, right? And you got sometimes you let them roll off the shoulders. But I hear you, man. Thanks for joining today, bro. Talk to you soon.
You're killing it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, bro. That's great stuff there from Caleb. Checking in. Talking to him for I think the only week I didn't talk to him, I think was week 1. and I've had him every week since. So he's been great. Let's get to Dio. Dio's been patiently waiting. Dio, you ready for me? I'm coming to you, brother. What's going on, man?
Indeed. You guys are amazing. I love the Superfly takedown by Johnny Mac tonight.
Oh, you're on the Johnny Mac side.
Indeed. You have to be. I mean, how can you go different than Yoline Guru, Jarrell, and the Aussie, man? They all have him. They all have his back, dude. That's some
here's
heavyweight
what I'll
right
ask
there.
you. And I appreciate you joining. Thank you for being patient, by the way. I
Hey.
had a lot of people to get through tonight. Senor, I'm getting to you next.
I appreciate it too.
Man.
I was here last week. I've been
I
here a
know,
couple
and then
other weeks.
I
I had
saw
to
you put in
bail
the
some,
chat. You had to
but
run. Yeah, so I
yeah.
appreciate you, man.
But
so you
I
got
was
no
gonna tell you too,
concern,
my
though, with that.
fandom, man, it goes way back. So I've been a fan since I was 10. I was originally a fan of the Raiders and stuff. So that's like, for me, that's 81. So
Okay.
it was right before the
Can't do
Super
a
Bowl.
good
So that's when I
team.
got into it. But yeah, love you guys' show. Did you want anything at all or takes?
I was
or
going to ask you about Nick, but if you want to run, you're good, man.
No, I'm good. I just didn't want to take too much time.
No,
Yeah,
you're
Nick,
good, man. No worries. I'm in no rush. What'd you think? What do you think of Nick then? I mean, you said you're on the Johnny Mac side, but what does that mean? You don't have any concerns with Nick?
No, everyone's going to have concerns. Don't get me wrong, but I think the fool learns a lot. So he works harder than probably any other head coach, and you can tell by the size of the bags under his eyes, right? I don't think that just Howie Roseman bags.
I've joked that being the coach of the Eagles is like the president. You ever seen the pictures from the presidents, how they age? It's like Nick Sirianni. He looks like he's 60 now.
I think even Doug, when he was there, looked kind of the same way, man. He looked refreshed 18 months after he wasn't here anymore,
Mm-hmm.
But so for me, there was definitely some bonehead things. O-line Guru had it right with those two. I think you should throw in the other one in there, like you mentioned as well. With you got to go up 3 scores when you got the chance. That when at the 17,
Yeah, right.
You can't not do. I mean, but I think all the other ones going for it, you can't question them as much to some degree. I mean, for me, it's not. It's almost like complimentary football. For me, because it's like if he relies on the team and they get the touchdowns, then it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy when they go for the thirds and ones in the fourth, and then they have that confidence. So, and then he also has confidence in the defense. If the offense is going for it, it's like a whole confidence thing and that connection stuff that I really don't buy most of the time anyway. But I am trying to sell it to you.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Well, I appreciate you joining today, man. Great talking to you. I love getting a new person on. So I had you on.
Indeed.
I think you're the only new one so far, and then I got Senor coming up. He's new.
Yeah, the
as well.
Senor's great, man. Thank you guys again. You guys are doing it well, and thanks for making this happen for all of us as well too. So
of course, man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Great stuff, man. Love talking to the great people of JAKIB Nation. Senor, I'm coming to you, brother. Let's go. What's up, my man? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. You look dope. I like the Eagles hat. You got the Eagles shirt on. You're looking fly.
Thank you. So, I don't know.
What'd you take away from today's game, man?
I hate to say it, but I agree with Phil. It's like take the point. That's 9 points we could have gotten off the field goals. You make Jake Elliott cold because he's not out there kicking any field goals, and
I
then
know.
you ask him to go kick a 50-plus yard field goal. So it's kind of like,
doubt.
what are you doing? Like every time, like Nick goes for it the first half, and then he starts changing his mind, saying, you know what, second half, let's pull it back. Let's start trying to get Jake Elliott out there to kick some 50-yarders and make him. He's 0 for 3 so far, 50-plus yards. So it's like no field goals the whole game for him. And then when he goes out there, he misses. And it's just like, John, I see what he means when he says it's the player's fault for not executing. He puts them in position to execute. They don't get it. Barkley should have gotten a few more yards, maybe gotten the first down if he kind of went for it. He probably thought he was by the sideline. You can't just say, hey, try to get the first down. You have the ball in your hand. You're already going for it. Just don't slide down. And then, people are telling Barkley, you should have caught that at the Falcons game. You don't want to, put the blame on him for losing the game this time. So he slides. So I get it. Phil's kind of saying it's in his head. I get that. I agree with him. I just think Nick is kind of making these decisions that are kind of putting the Eagles in a chance to lose the game more often than just saying, 2022 is great, but they played a fourth place team schedule. So it's like you played against that team. Now, this year, you might not say they're playing the best teams in the league, which is true. They have a tough stretch coming up. The Ravens, the Commanders, and I believe it's the Rams. So it's Cowboys next. We'll see what they do. They haven't been that great. And then it's Commanders for pretty much first place in the NFC East. Then you have the Rams, and then you have the Ravens. So those 3 games, it's really going to tell the Eagles, are they really a playoff contender, or are they just going to get into the playoffs and just lose in the first round or lose in the second round, and that's it? You're playing against good teams. The Lions is probably the only team that really scares me.
Yeah, no, we got some tough teams coming up for sure. But overall, our schedule's kind of easy, Senor. I mean, it's not easy, but like somebody put out something, a couple weeks ago that the strength of schedule for us for the rest of the year is low. You think Nick's going to cost us late in the year, or are you not that concerned?
I mean, the games they played, the Jaguars, they should have beat. The Bengals, they should have beat. The Giants, they should have beat. And the Browns, they should have beat. They beat all of them. But
Should be.
not.
Should be. Keyword should.
And they beat the Bengals. I thought they were going to blow out the Jaguars. But then I started seeing Nick go for those 2-point conversion. I'm like, what are you doing? You're already up. Just kick the field goal. Just, get the 1 extra point. You missed 2. Doug Peterson on the other side makes his 2-point conversions to get up to 16, down 6 at half, or right after halftime. So it's kind of like, it's like they're converting, we're not, and you're still going for 2 because you're trying to make up. I like what one of the guys that analogy with the blackjack. Like he's just chasing those losses that he already did, and it's just like take the points, you're already up.
I hear you, man.
I hear you. You can get away with bad teams, but you're not going to get away with it when you're going up against the Chiefs defense, the Lions that actually have guys on offense that are going to score a lot easier. We're looking great against the Giants, the Bengals, the Browns. So our defense looks great, but they're not really battle tested against like an elite QB passer, an elite running back. The Lions have, Dave Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra. So it's like we're not playing the Jaguars with that. We're not playing the Bengals with, granted they do have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They did a great job, but it's not like they're going to let's see what they do against Puka and Cooper Kupp. Let's see what they do against Lamar and Derrick Henry. Are they going to be a great defense still, or are they just going to run up the score on us? And then, who's to blame at that point?
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. Thanks for joining us, Senor. I know you gave Sills a lot of shit.
I agree with him. I agree with him with pretty much all of his takes. Like today,
Tonight.
like Jalen did.
Tonight you do.
Yeah.
But Tuesday it might be a different story. We'll see.
Yeah, he says on Monday.
Great stuff, man. Thanks for joining. All right, bro.
Zander.
Thank you, man. Great stuff, man. Appreciate everybody tonight joining in. I got one guy left in the chat. His camera's off. I don't know if he's ready for me or what. You ready for me, my guy? I can't see it or anything. Let's see if I can get this guy in here. You out there, brother?
You see me?
I don't see you, but I hear you.
You hear me? Can I turn my camera off?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Don't worry. One day I'm gonna show. Don't worry, Zan. One day I'm gonna show myself. I think everybody knows me as C24. You know me?
Yeah, I know you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was a good win today. Being 6-2, definitely better than 5-2. I'm a little nervous because my first time doing this, but
no, you're good, man. Hey, listen, I know you're a big troller, so sometimes I get upset with you with messing up the quality of the chat. But I appreciate. Hey, listen, not everybody is ready to come into the Thunderdome. Yeah, so I think the fact that you're here is respectable. I'll give you that.
Hey, look, Xander. Listen, some of the stuff that your show says, I 70% disagree with it. First off, I 70% disagree with it, but the Eagles got the dub today. I'm happy. So sometimes I watch the show, and then when Seals talks all that junk, I just leave, because I'm not gonna let him overcrowd my happiness. But
Seals is living rent free in your head, C24. He's
I
living rent free in your head.
I know, but sometimes
you can't even show your face on here because Sills, a picture of Sills might pop up. C24.
Yeah. The criticism, Zan, I just swallow my gut and just take it,
I hear you,
but
man.
But some of the things you guys say here, it kind of be true. I remember the first time I hopped on here, Seals was talking about Jordan Davis is bad, and I was like, oh my goodness. But then later I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, he could be a little bit better. But anyway, I'm not gonna hold you for longer.
Well, listen, I got one question before you leave, all right, man? And don't worry, I'm not gonna put you in a bad position. I appreciate you coming on the show. It means a lot to me, and thanks for the support of the network.
All right, thanks.
What do you think of Nick Sirianni?
Remember, I think his name was Jarrell. No,
Yep,
John.
Jarrell.
Some.
Jarrell was in the tank and looked like a hotel room. Jarrell's a legend. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things he said was, I don't think it was Jarrell, but it was somebody else. He said the pressure on Nick is at 6, should be at 6.
Yeah, that was
I
Caleb,
think,
but yeah, I got you.
yeah. I think it should definitely be at like a 7.5, trending towards 8, because you cannot be a head coach and just doing all that. Just not making good decisions. Like we got, like one of the things I learned from football is if you have a shot to get some points, just get the points. Like instead of going for 2, just kick the field goal. Like there's no reason for you to kick the extra point. To go for 2. The Jaguars, either way in the NFL, is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy in the NFL. So don't play around with teams that you know that you can have a possibility to lose to. But anyway, we got the dub, Zander, and I'm happy. I'm happy. Hopefully, Seals is happy that he's eating crow right now.
Sills
But
don't give a shit if we win, my man. Sills is making
yeah.
great content. All right, wait. One question before you leave.
All
How
right.
many YouTube channels do
I
you
have?
have?
Okay. You ready? Okay, so most of them I had them unsubscribed to Jacob, but right now I say about 29.
29. That seems low, man. I think it might be higher.
Yeah,
I think I got 20. I might have 29 C24s blocked.
yeah. That's how much you got blocked. That's how much you got blocked though. And look, I promise you I will stop the trolling, but flexing. One thing for flexing is flexing here.
I don't know. I'm not sure if Flexion's
Hey,
here.
look, everybody's looking for flexing. Tell them that we are so close to 7 to 9 wins. We are so close to that.
That's right. Well, Flexion did say 7 to 9 win team. I'll hold him to that. Yeah, Steve, thanks for joining, man. Pretty cool of you to step into the Thunderdome despite
Yeah,
all
man.
the
You'll see a lot
trolling
of
and
me lately.
everything.
You'll see a lot of me after every game, win or lose.
All right, what are you? Your new one, COF for now. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
You got me.
you thought I didn't know. I said I've seen enough of this guy to know when he checks
Yeah, you
back
got me.
in. I had you down, my man. All right, thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Right, no, thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man. See you. Great stuff, man. Great stuff from everybody. JAKIB Nation, man. JAKIB Nation is JAKIB Nation the best? Am I just biased, everybody? Is JAKIB Nation the best in the world? I'll say it's the best in the world, man. I'll say it's the best in the world. I fucking love all you guys, man. You guys are the absolute best. Hot Sports still listening to me from the back end. See you, bro. Appreciate it. I see Dio still listening to me. Appreciate all you guys, man. Thanks for everybody for all the support you guys have given to the channel. It's been a massive couple of months for us, and you guys have made it all happen. So I can't thank you guys enough for the support. I am going to read a few more super chats before I get out of here because I don't want to let anybody dry. I say this every week. The post game show is very hard with the super chats because you got to balance. Remember, we post out the segments for everybody to listen to after, and we get thousands of listeners after the live. So I got to balance getting Sills' take, getting John's take, trying to get the super chats, getting my take in there, getting so it's a little bit of a juggle job. And I'm not complaining at all, but sometimes it gets tough to read all the super chats. And I appreciate it. Jameson, thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. Call me a goat. Look at that. I'm not a goat, but I appreciate you, your support, Jameson. I know you've been here for a while, man. Clary Void, we heard everyone's takes, but what's yours for today, JAKIB Nation? It's a good question, Clary Void. I think I gave it out there a little bit on the show. I try and let the big hitters talk mostly with Sills and Johnny Mack. But look, my take is it's a good football win. It's a bad coaching performance. And my fear it will consistently be, will we waste this roster? Will we waste it with Nick Sirianni making dumb decisions? And I appreciate the people who are positive. I appreciate guys like Jarrell who say, don't worry about it, who we're going to figure it out. And I appreciate that because, like, in a way, I view things like that too. But there's also a pessimist in me who's like, this could be a problem. I mean, remember, and somebody just put it in the chat. I don't know who it was. Remember, we're striving for greatness. We're striving for excellence. We're not striving for 10 wins and being in the playoffs. Like, I don't give a shit about that. I want to win it all. And I know only one team can win, so most of the time you're going to be upset, but you got to at least strive for that. And I think that's where Nick Sirianni really has me I don't know. I just don't trust the guy yet. I think he's got a great record, but look how good our team is. Like, what would Doug Peterson's record be with this roster? What would Andy Reid's record be with this roster? What would Mike Tomlin's record be with this roster? What would pick a great coach? And that's where I'm like, is Nick gonna fuck it up for us? That would be my biggest concern. But Clary Voigt, thank you, man. Appreciate you. By the way, great job on the show, man. Love your log cabin, by the way. Got a warm place in my heart for the log cabins. I love them. Great stuff, man. Thanks for the support. Brian Pumper checks in. Brian, thank you, man. Always a supporter of the channel, and we appreciate you very much. Brian says, anyone who vouches for a head coach who tried to emulate Saquon Barkley by calling plays, huddling with his back turned, should have their heads checked. Did Nick do that? I didn't see this. Did Nick do that, Brian? Listen, Nick's a goofy guy. If you don't like goofy, you're not going to like Nick. RJ says, no, you tell the O-line to get you 1 yard. I think you're talking about the tush push. You're right about that, man. Give me a yard, right? Brian says, J-Mac going to be smiling in his sleep tonight. That Jalen Hurts exchange gave McMullen an extra twinkle in his eyes. Maybe. I'll be talking to him in the morning on Birds 365. So I'm looking forward to that show, man. We might have a couple fireworks in the morning because I'm not just going to sit there and agree with John. I just don't agree with him on everything. So I'm not going to, I don't want to create too many fireworks, but I'll be talking to him. We'll get him up. Cameron says, Jerry. Yeah, he's driving that team into the dirt. That team is on the way to the grave faster than Jerry is, for crying out loud. Let me find. I got holy shit, man. We got a lot of super chats today. Oh God, Brian Fleming, one of the funniest guys we ever had. You got to fire that useless cheerleader and put him back in the cuck chair. Come on, man. Brian says, I'm going to end this clown Sirianni. Nick is a wanted man in the Philly streets. He will see my wrath rain upon his world. I want Sirianni. Interesting comment there. Des says, Barkley fumble hurt too. Bond and Dean shine. Des, great take. No doubt. 304 checks in, our resident Cowboy fan. Yes, need the Eagles to win enough to keep Nick. Oof. That's what your adversaries are thinking, everybody. Travis Parrish checks in. 200 total yards for Jags isn't struggling. They had 30 yards halfway through the third quarter. The only way they got back was bad coaching. It's a good point. That's why we were hard on the coaching today. Appreciate you, Travis. Murda, I don't know what that says. Murda, grown or something. Mr. Fortnite almost blew the game with that pass interference. Dude, they put him back out there. He gets a costly. Why is Avonte Maddox on the field at this point? I mean, I said the same exact thing. Said the same thing. Thanks for the checking in, man, with the $2. John Wick checks in. I like that name. John Wick. John Wick, but John for Philly. Love it. This game shouldn't have been close. Nick the moron left 9 points on the field. Fire Nick. John is done with Nick. Big Fish says, if he has them kids at the presser, I'm done. I got to look. I don't know if I didn't see anything yet because I've been doing the show. I got to see what the hell he does. Brian, Brian, you get a lot of supers today, man. Thank you for the support, brother. He says, why give your scrawny kicker a captain's patch when you don't use him? Are we allowed to kick field goals inside of 55? Sirianni can catch the fade. Brian, not happy with Nick. Like I said earlier, we need another running back. Barkley will not hold up and gain less as a momentum killer. We need a running back at the deadline. Give me Etienne. Actually, not a bad thought. I just don't think they're not going to invest more in the running back, man. You think they're going to trade a pick to get a running back? I don't see it. J-Mac finna blame Barkley. Watch. Haha. McMullen won't fool me with his tactics. He didn't blame Barkley today, but appreciate it. John Wick, this is the best comment. There's a difference between aggressiveness and stupid. Agreed, John Wick. Joe High says, can we get John Mack to voice our concerns in a press conference? Joe, I appreciate that thought, but that's not John's job, man. It's, that's not what his job is. But I appreciate the sentiment. I mean, I get what you're saying. That's not what he's doing, though. That's not what he's here for. If I got a press pass, that's what I'd be doing. But they'll never give me a press pass, man. Jalen All Sicko, D.O. Mad Day, the crazy name Jalen, checks in. Appreciate it, man. Analytics says when miss on first attempts, then odds go up for later attempts. You should still account for logic, game, circumstance. Great take. Appreciate that, man. I think you're spot on with that. Daniel Bigelow, Jags have 5 losses of 5 points or less. Yeah, man, it's been close. It's been really close for them. They've also gotten blown out. I think they lost 47-10 to the Bills. So it's been up and down for them. Anthony Wilson checks in. Not a Nick Sirianni fan. However, he coached this team to 2 blowouts, and y'all bitching about a 5-point win when they gifted Jacksonville 8 points. Anthony, bro, I love you, but are you seriously going to tell me that you had no issue with Nick Sirianni's performance today because we blew out the Giants? I mean, seriously? Come on, Anthony. Again, we're looking for greatness. We're looking for greatness. I appreciate the super chat, man. Tyler Conger. I don't know how to say that. I'm normally pretty good with pronunciation, but I don't know why that's tripping me out. Conger? Am I tripping? What do you guys think in the chat? Conger? I don't know. Nick needs to go. Imagine this roster in games without him holding his team back there, winning in spite of him right now. Sadly, I kind of agree. I mean, I don't think they're winning in spite of him completely, but I think he's done things that have significantly put his team in a worse position, and that would concern me. Thank you, though, for the super chat. Excuse me. Getting a yawn in, everybody. November, what is it? 10:49. Little late night content here. Cal says, I think Nick got his play calling powers removed. Maybe. Be aggressive when it's appropriate, Barrett says. But when Sirianni is aggressive all the time, that's just called being reckless. I agree. Polska the trucker checks in. There's no excuse for the head coach to call those types of plays. He needs to be put in the closet and lock him in there. That's a little aggressive. Prince, what's up, Prince? I don't know if you're still here, but I appreciate it, man. Nick made the same mistakes in the Falcon game today. It almost cost us again. While being aggressive is important, half of those calls were dumb. Prince, I would agree with you 100%. Amber checks in. Appreciate you, Amber Baker Dauberman, a member for 2 months. This is a member chat. Big Sills, you better not sit back and allow McMullen to spew his stupid takes. I don't think he did that today, Amber. Sills, you know, I look, honestly, I wanted Sills and John to both. I didn't like the personals. You know, I don't think they needed to personally shit on each other, and they kind of both did. But I love the debate, and I wanted them to go at it. I thought they did a good job at it. Brian Pumper says, CT Nick is ruining my fandom. Brian, I'm going to call you out after this. He says, his incompetence keeps me up at night. I'm not able to enter REM sleep because of this cannoli. Brian, 2 weeks ago, it was Jalen Hurts. Now he's playing good, so it's Nick. Brian, are you a perpetual sad boy? Come on, Brian. Come on, Brian. So, M. Reyes, what's up, M? Appreciate you, man. Sills, can you keep the tears out of my Sammy? Appreciate that, M. Reyes. JH checks in. Sills, Baltimore and Detroit secondary sucks. Look at the numbers. Jalen will carve them up. We'll see. Those are tough teams to play. We'll see, though. Mesmerize says, is it too optimistic to think Nick self-scouts his decision-making from this game and learns, or have we seen too much to say he probably won't? I'd lean he probably won't. Sean Mims, appreciate you, Sean. Allen needed a last-second field goal to win versus the Dolphins. Yeah, that game was crazy. I didn't even see the ending because I started the post-game show, but I'll go back and check the highlights from today on social. Hey, the Phillies Ace 34. What's up, bro? Hey, Big Bill. Big Bill. Who the hell's Big Bill? Big Sills, I guess. You be gushing over Josh Allen being elite. A majority of his wins come to lesser teams because he has no help. Not saying Hurts is better. Well, I'm glad you're not saying that because Josh Allen is a great football player. I mean, I know everybody likes to joke with Sills about Josh Allen. We're all football fans here. Josh Allen is a very good football player. Very good quarterback. Easily one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I get it. It's become like a funny joke, though. And I appreciate you. Brian Amorin, appreciate you, man. He says, Big Sills, how you doing? Can't wait to see Big Sills' show tomorrow. We already read that one. Brian Amorin, again, appreciate it, man. LMA, it don't matter who we beat. Sills will only be happy when they beat the U. I wish I read that to Sills. Hopefully Sills is still listening. I don't know if he is or not. That's a good one, though. This was before Jarrell came on the show. This is the kind of guy Jarrell is. I love it. Get me the F in here. I'm about to rebuttal all this shit. Good stuff, Jarrell. Thank you, man. Appreciate your support, man. Byron Nails checks in. Smitty and Barkley top 10 plays on ESPN. Hats down. Definitely. That Smith catch is already, I mean, I'm almost mad at myself for doing this show for 3.5 hours. That's what we're on. 3.5. We're 3.5 deep, everybody. I didn't bring that up enough. That catch was unbelievable, man. Unbelievable play. Dirty Air checks in. Nick ain't going anywhere. His hair just grew too much this week. He needs to reshave his head. Nick the Bick. Hey, maybe he will. I don't know. Apparently he was crying because his wife didn't like it. Me and Dean equals Bobby Boucher. I like that. I already read that, I think. Read that. Didn't know Doug playing for a job. Oh shit! Now I'm yawning. Now you guys got me yawning. Did Sirianni take it easy so Doug didn't get fired? No, I don't think so at all. Top 2 linebackers in the league, Bond and Dean. No. Josh Herman checks in. Hey Xander, just to answer your question about who beat Slay, gave up the touchdown in Atlanta. To be fair, yeah, no, I didn't say nobody beat him. I said he's made great plays this year. I appreciate it, Josh. Thank you, man. Thanks for correcting me. I'm always good to be corrected. I'm all good with that. Edward L says, "My God, guys." This is a whiny chat. You can almost hear the whininess in the tone. Edward, if you're in here, I'm not trying to chirp you, man. I'm just messing with you. He says, "My God, guys, love John and Birds 365, but you guys need a better post-game format. Miss the old days. Can't listen to this crap after every game." Then Edward, go to a different channel, bro. What do you want me to say to that? Caleb Brandon checks in. Xander, I love this. John and Sills going at it. Keep running the ball on first. Hurts is elite. Winning as a QB coach stat, the man on the mountain. Great stuff, Caleb. Thank you, man. And appreciate you joining again today. You were excellent as always. Sills is gaslighting his ass off. No, he wasn't. Johnny Mack would die for Nick Sirianni. He would take a bullet for Nicky, yet he says Barkley ass. Joe High, a competent coach will realize the play is no longer working. Well, I don't think it's no longer working. I think they should have stuck with it there. Sills 1, J-Mac 0. McMullen got squeaky instant L. I don't agree with that, but yeah, I hear you. I thought Sills did win. I don't have a problem being aggressive. Oh, we read that. Brian, thanks, man. Oh, this is a great take. A checks in. Doug Peterson was an aggressive head coach. Nick is an arrogant head coach. I do sense a little arrogance sometimes from Nick with the over, double down on going for it, but I get it. Nosty Beats checks in. Fred John, I already read that. I think we got them all. I think we got them all except for the new ones. Brian Pumper, one more. Jalen Hurts is all right, I guess. He still took way too many sacks. At one point, he held the ball for 15 seconds and took a sack. Fred Johnson was pissed. Well, Fred Johnson's got his own worries, man. I mean, Jalen Hurts is a playmaker. He's going to hold the ball longer than catch and release guys. It's just not his game. He's not his game, man. It's not his game. Look at Amber. Xander, you have a good thing going. I'm aware of your yawning and ready to go. All right, man. Give me some slack, will you, bro? It's all right. I don't need slack. Big Sills is the man. Big Sills is a legend. Big Sills is an absolute fucking legend. And I don't care how many haters email me constantly to get him fired. I don't care how many people don't like his takes. He's a legend on JAKIB. And I love having him. He says, you can't sense McMullen's arrogance. No, Amber, I do. I do. I don't have a problem with it because I think that's what makes John. And I want people to, I think people all have their own thing to add. And McMullen, in a way, is arrogant in his beliefs, but that's what makes people believe him, Amber. And that's what makes people listen to him. He's also got a very, a monotonous delivery, but I think people love it. Like, I have people email me and they're like, John is like my therapy where I just listen to John and it's just relaxing. So, no, I mean, look, I think John just believes he's right, which he's not always, but if he believes that, it makes for better content. Maybe that's a biased way to look at it, but I don't have an issue with it. Smitty's catch, great. Next week, everybody talking about the Barkley toe tap. Hop was even more spectacular. The Barkley toe tap. Oh, the touchdown. Yeah, that was great. It was great. And you don't see him catch much. I mean, he hasn't been huge in the passing game this year, but he really had a nice catch tonight. I agree with that. Mike McIntyre checks in. I miss Jody. I like the old man dynamic, but dynamic is Xander is no slouch. Kind of miss the old middle show, especially BB. Mike, we're business, man. It's got to work. got to work. But I appreciate you checking in, man. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. I'm all good with them. I think I got them all tonight. Oh, God. Big Sills. I'm not reading that out, man. I'm not reading that out. Amber follows up. I can't stand listening to John. Well, you don't got to listen to him, Amber. You know, one thing maybe this will come off wrong to some people, but I don't care. I think it's so childish and stupid when somebody watches our shows and then they comment in the chat like 5 times, I'm leaving. I'm not watching this show anymore. Like, do you need attention so bad that you have to announce your departure? That means you're not actually just leaving to leave, because it's very simple to just click. You all watch YouTube, click off and click on the next video. But you got to announce it because you're looking for validation. How about fuck off? How about fuck off? M. Halpin checks in with it. $2. Thank you, M. Halpin. Appreciate it. Brian says, Zay, you're awesome for doing this until 11. Hey, game day, man. It's great to do it. Almost 4-hour show tonight. Great stuff, man. I got plenty in the tank, Brian. You want to keep going, Brian? Let's go, baby. I got the Jarrell. I got the energy from you tonight, man. Thanks, everybody, man. What a great show this was. What a good win it was for the Eagles outside of Nick Sirianni. Like, that's why I hate this game. Ready? Let's do the exercise one more time. All right, before I get out of here. Now my mouse isn't working. You got to be kidding me. Let's do the exercise one more time. And Big Sills, if you're still in the chat, I want you to listen to this. So we did our whole post-game show. It's pretty negative. I mean, Nick Sirianni made it negative because he made it a game. Shouldn't have been negative, but it was, and I'm not mad about it. Jalen Hurts tonight, 18 of 24 for 230 and 2 touchdowns. Pretty good performance. Saquon Barkley, 27 carries, 159 yards, 5.9 average with a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. Jalen Hurts, 12 carries, 67 yards, 5.6 average, and a touchdown on the ground. Let's look at the defensive stats. Defensively, only gave up 215 yards, only 155 passing yards given up, only 60 rushing yards given up. I mean, if you look at the stats of this game, we played great. We had a great football game today. We had incompetent coaching that made the game close. From a football perspective, I mean, shit, I think this team is better than they've been in a while. I think they're looking really good. But overall, I'm good with where we are. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, though. I mean, look at this asshole. Look at this asshole. Is this the real Big Sills account? I can tell because it's the way he types. LOLOL. Types like a girl. Types like my little sister. Sills, you type like my little sister. Hurts killed the 31st worst defense. Congrats? ? LOL. Wait, that's Sills like 4. Sills got off the show, what, like an hour and a half ago? He's 4, 5, 6 beers deep already. 4, 5, or 6 beers deep. Chirping about Jalen Hurts. Rent free. Rent free, Silio. Rent free. Yep. Appreciate you, Sills. Appreciate everybody watching, man. Still got a good crowd in here, man. That's great stuff, man. JAKIB Nation's been absolutely crushing it recently. And I can't thank you guys enough, man, for what you guys have done in the last couple of weeks. It's been a great journey, and we've been enjoying it. Sills and I have been enjoying it. John's been enjoying it. It looks a lot different than it did a year ago, as somebody pointed out in the chat. But I can't thank you all enough for making it happen. 12 more. I will not leave this show until we get 600 likes. I will not end it. If it takes hours to get 12 likes, I'll be here for hours. Where are we at? Twiz, you got to keep track of me, man. 587, it says. So our 13 away. Can we get 13 likes? Only a 6-pack. Sills is old and lightweight. Look at that. Throwing haymakers at Sills. That's all right. Sills can slow down on the beers. I tell him that all the time. Anton checks in. Zander, if you're reading this, I said 12-5. We're at 6-2 at the midpoint of the season. Yeah, I got to be honest, Anton. 12 looks good, man. I mean, it looks like we're going to get to 12. I'd say we're going to get to 12. I should have stuck with my original win prediction. Sills had me change it, and it's not Sills' fault. I changed it, but I think 12 is definitely realistic. 596. Look at that. We're close, man. I ain't getting out of here until we get to 6. So don't think I'm leaving. What's that? What's that meme? Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. That's me right now. Somebody channel my inner Wolf of Wall Street. Ryan with a good take here. I'll bring it up. Ryan is hilarious. You know, I mess with Ryan because Ryan will have like 1, 2 comments in a 4-hour show, maybe 3 comments in a 4-hour show. And then it'll be like, this guest sucks. Cilio sucks. It's like 2 words. And I'm like, Ryan, there's Ryan. It reminds me of the woman, Debbie. If you've been on JAKIB a while, you know Debbie. Anytime baseball comes up, Debbie's like, hate baseball. Like, okay, Debbie, it was 2 minutes, Debbie. But that's what Ryan reminds me of, and he's a funny guy. I appreciate your support, Ryan. Zander, John gets off the record convo, so obviously he's not going to bash him. Plus, John knows things we don't and probably never will. That's accurate. And John gives me a lot of the off the record stuff, by the way. Just can't say it on the air. But no, that doesn't mean, yeah. So he's a reporter. You got to be objective. You can't just not criticize someone because they talk to you. But I hear you. Brian, thanks again, man. Thanks again, brother. $5 goes a long way when you guys drop super chats, man. It really does. I know I say that, and I'm not just saying to butter you up, but we're self-funded, man. We're not no venture capitalists, none of that shit in here. I got to pay Sills the big bucks, so I go broke to pay Sills. Brian Pumper says, Xander, what do you think Nick does pregame? I believe he listens to Lose Yourself with a helmet on, staring in the mirror, holding his play sheet. You got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. Lose yourself in the music the moment you want it. Oh, God. You can tell I ain't no rapper. Good stuff, Brian. Thanks for the support, my man. Clary Voice says, JAKIB Sports. When you want to get down to the Bama scene, let me know. Always welcome to stay. I'm close. Been wanting to go to a game. College football ain't the Philly scene. College football is dope, man. I used to go. I love the Bama tailgates. Clary Voice, honestly, I haven't been back since I left. I have not been back. And to be completely transparent with you, I haven't missed it at all. Now, it's not a knock on Bama, but when I left college, I was not one of the people who was like, "Oh, I miss college and I miss partying and this." I was like, "I'm out. Time to build a business. Time to get money." That was my perspective, but I appreciate it, man. Twiz says Xander needs money to fill a 7 Series. Are you crazy? I ain't no 7 Series driver. Maybe if we blow JAKIB up one day, Twiz. But I wouldn't. I mean, if I had money like that, I wouldn't buy a 7 Series, Twiz. I got about 60 to 70 to 80 to options I'd buy before a 7 Series. I mean, come on. 7 Series? Nah, I'm not going that. Jameson, crazy stat. Jalen is 14-1 versus the AFC. Had no idea. Actually, Jameson, I think I'm going to correct you. I think he's 15-1 after today. I thought before the game, John put out a tweet. Let me see if I can find it. Now my mouse isn't working, so I can't. Yes, Abe said GT 500. That's what I'd buy. But I need like a truck too. I'd maybe buy like a TRX. I have a Ram now. That's what I drive now. I got a pickup truck. Ram 1500. I want 2500, but really I want the TRX. But you get like 8 miles to the gallon on this thing. And contrary to Twiz's belief system, I can't afford 8 miles a gallon and $120 to fill the tank every time. Let me see if I can find this stat though, Jameson. I'll double check it for you, bro. Damn, Johnny Mac got a lot of tweets today. Give me a sec, everybody. Yeah, oh no, you're right. All right, it was 13-1. It was 13-1. So now it's 14-1. Yeah, crazy, man. Jalen dominating them AFC teams. I'll be curious if someone point out the one loss. Are they not talking about is the one loss isn't the Super Bowl, is it? Or is that not counted? I don't know. Ooh, I like this question. Great question. What was your goalie pads when I played? I used Bauer, but back in, it seems like it's changed so much. I've gotten so much more into hockey. I still have my pads. I had what was my most recent pair? I think they were. Is it Brian's? Brian's? I forget the name of them. They were Brian's, I think. Yep, Brian's. They were Brian's. That's what I had. That was my last pair before I had Bauer's. Yeah. Appreciate everybody, man. We got a lot of comments here. I'm appreciative of all you guys. Relaxing rain videos. Interesting name there. Zander something argue with Sills. It doesn't matter what they do. Sills is going to find something to say that's negative. He contradicts himself all the time for the sake of his arguments. No, he doesn't. Relaxing. You're not. You're listening to what you want to hear. When Sills is wrong, he says he's wrong. But Sills is not going to give you credit before you deserve credit. And you believe you deserve credit before he believes it. That's where you're different. Sills isn't a hater either. You guys are wrong about that. Sills is for great content, and that's what I'm for as well. Akbar, my main man, says, you're kind of getting on my nerves making this show so good all night. I haven't even checked in on the game. Yo, me and you both, Akbar. I got to get off this. It's 11:10. I got to watch the condensed. I'm going to rewatch the condensed game because I like to do that before I do the morning show. Probably make some notes for the morning show. I got to get the links ready and stuff for the morning and stuff. And I'll probably be up till 1:30-ish. Get the bed up at 6:30, and we back. I mean, come on, man. I'm not digging coal mines. I'm not doing the real work that some of you probably are doing. I'm not Jarrell fighting on the front lines for our freedom. I'm talking about sports, man. I'm not complaining about it. I promise you that. I ain't complaining about it. That's going to do it, though, man. I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate all of you guys for the great show tonight. Just tremendous, man. I absolutely love talking to you guys every single week. I'm appreciative of the people who come on every week. I think I appreciate the people who put some time in too, to kind of come prepared and ready. And a lot of you guys are doing a great job, and I'm appreciative that you joined, but I'm happy for you guys because, I think it's cool that we talk football after the game on a public forum where a lot of people listen. It's dope. I think it's dope. I don't know. I could easily sit up here and just have me, John Dan, goodbye, but I love talking to you guys. You guys obviously a massive part of this channel, and we wouldn't be the same without it. So thanks, everybody, man. That's going to do it for the show tonight. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Birds 365. We're giving away the jersey. Remember, Tuesday morning, 10 a.m., jersey giveaway. So get your memberships in if you're not a member. A lot of you guys aren't members, and I'm seeing, why aren't you guys members? Now, I'm not going to beg you, but shit, man, it's big support. If you guys are here talking to me late night, you might as well be a member. But I appreciate it, man. That's going to do it for the show. Thanks, everybody. Catch you next time. Birds, 6-2, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Birds. Catch you next time, everyone.